Are we ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Welcome to Hold to Scare. My name is Philip J. Woodward. This is Jake Butler, and that's Anthony Van Brackle.
And this
This is the WWF.
yeah.
Oh wait, no, it's not. You said you were gonna do it differently.
Yes, it's. I think I'm gonna try and do it differently until
every time.
Yeah, just every time.
Until we get a popular one.
Right. Yeah, maybe if we get one that like people just love.
I think they'll just like you doing it differently
Every time.
We'll get requests. We'll be like,
do the wrestling version.
Yeah, or
I think you should have worn a kabuki mask or something. It's funny.
Oh my god, that would have been so great.
yeah. Is that because we're gonna talk about Neo? Yeah.
If you didn't know, tonight's subject is Neo, and this is Hold to Skip. We're a video game podcast, and sometimes movies. Depends on what's come out that week and whether or not we've seen anything.
You've actually seen
Lego Batman.
Lego Batman.
You guys have seen it, and I have not seen it yet.
Which is weird because you're the one that watches so many movies a week.
But we've been waiting because we're seeing it tomorrow for Valentine's Day. We're gonna
So
see
romantic.
We're gonna see that and John Wick.
John Wick 2?
John Wick 2.
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't see that first.
Well,
I know you love Batman, but
His wife
John
had
Wick.
say in
yeah, the woman that I love
She doesn't like John. She doesn't
isn't
like
as
John
interested in seeing Keanu Reeves kill people.
Wick. I don't know who's not interested
So-
in Keanu Reeves killing people. That's all he does, except for in Bill and Ted. But he probably
Right.
He killed. Was it Bill in that movie too? Is he Bill in that movie? He was Ted in that movie.
No, he's. Oh man, now
Is he Bill or is he Ted?
I'm pretty sure he's Bill.
Is he Bill? Okay.
Well, it's confusing because originally he thought he was gonna be playing one or the other, and then when he got to the set, that's when he found out who he was actually playing. I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like for the first test stuff, and he ended up getting in costume for the other character. So it wasn't so much that he was, going to be one or the other. He just ended up being the one he thought he wasn't going to be.
That makes sense.
So it's real confusing to remember which one he was, because even though I like that movie and I actually repped the shirt for that movie last week,
You did. You can see it.
I
on
don't
the
remember,
first
but I'm
episode.
pretty sure it's Bill.
Okay.
I'm terrible with names.
But like testament to his acting skills, he prepped for both roles. He came
Right.
ready to do the movie
To do
by
both.
himself,
Whoa,
which I would have actually
Dude.
probably preferred.
bruh.
If-
Whoa.
Bill, I mean, he does that in but just the entire movie of Keanu Reeves doing that.
I saw, it's actually funny because you look at his acting career and you think, I don't know about his acting abilities, right? But that's on the surface. When you look at who he is in real life, he's totally the chill surfer bro you
Yeah.
saw back in the day. Like that is him in interviews.
He's
So
actually
he's Bill in real life. And then
It seems that way. He's so chill in interviews. He seems like he's super down to earth, and he totally sounds like that SoCal surfer bro.
Bruh.
Bruh.
We're in California.
Whoa.
Say bruh.
Hella.
Yeah. BRU.
I'm a hella say bruh all night.
Yeah.
Hella.
Yeah. We're
Bruh.
not. Yeah. It's not hecka. We're not on the other side of the coast. It's hella.
Right.
That's
Sorry.
how you properly say it.
Sorry.
Okay. Keanu, but did you like Lego Batman?
I like Lego Batman a lot.
Like,
I would
you
say
did not like the Joker voice that much.
I would say
What?
that you
Because
it was Zach
you could do-
Galifianakis.
because you could do it better?
No. I don't feel no.
I mean, you
No.
you do a really good Joker.
I do an impression of Mark Hamill's Joker.
Which is the best Joker, right? Next to
Mark Hamill's Joker is the best Joker.
Okay, the best Joker.
You have, in my opinion, you have Mark Hamill, then you have probably Heath Ledger's Dark Knight Joker. I mean,
It's an undisputed really good Joker.
and then I feel like all the rest of them can be kind of interchanged.
I kind of liked Jack Nicholson's
Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Jack Nicholson's Joker, I'm not knocking it, but I still feel like I can't decide between the 1960s Joker, the 1966 Batman Joker, or Jack Nicholson Joker, or some of the other renditions of Joker
Were
in
they both
comparison.
really campy, like the way Jack Nicholson is?
I mean, yeah,
The
because
60s
Jack Nicholson was
super
trying to be serious, but he
It
came out
was-
really
yeah,
campy.
It was so campy. Yeah.
Especially when you compare, like, the Dark Knight trilogy to that, absolutely.
I really liked it. But
Did you see that in theaters?
What, Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Dark Knight, but
Everyone saw it.
Batman. 1989 Batman.
I might have, but I don't remember.
So the big movie that came out when I was like 7 or 8, which you would have been about 7 years old.
Yeah.
So the movie that came out when I was younger was Jurassic Park. And I got to see Jurassic Park in theaters. I saw a lot of movies in theaters,
was
Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, but Jurassic Park was like the first one that I saw.
Beauty and the Beast in theaters?
Mhm. Yeah. But Jurassic Park was the one that was like the first big kind of rated R film that I saw in theaters, and that was just blew my mind. I actually had to sleep in my parents' bed that night. I was so scared because I was afraid that a raptor was going to come like carry my arm around like a fucking puppy dog.
Yeah, those raptors were no joke. You don't mess with them. That's kind of weird. Like, it was rated R.
I believe
It's
so.
like a rated R movie.
It's been a while since I've looked at the case or anything, but I'm pretty sure it was rated R.
It's R.
It had a severed arm in it. That was pretty
that
dark
was
for 94.
The 90s, yeah. But
Or
the
92.
difference between an R movie then
3?
and one now,
Right.
you get millennials just laugh at that.
Right.
Yeah. Like, that's
Why my mom was okay with taking me to see Jurassic Park, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
She was like, happy dinosaur movie.
My grandmother took
It's
my
dinosaurs.
mom when she was about that similar age to
To
see
The Exorcist?
Oh,
Godfather.
Godfather.
Wow.
She recalls The Godfather, but she has seen The Exorcist when she was young too, because my
Nice.
grandmother loved those kinds of movies.
Yeah.
She still does, and she thought that was an appropriate thing to take, a 7-year-old girl to.
That's funny.
And my mom still
So
does.
so then what is the first movie you remember seeing in theaters then? Oh, come on. First
I
one
really can't.
prominently remember seeing in theaters.
Well, there's
I
Jurassic
don't care
Park
what it is.
2, but that was because
Lost
I was on
World.
a date and it was the first time I touched boob. That was that.
That was what, high school?
That was way earlier than that. That was before middle school.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, right.
So what year was that? I guess it wasn't too many years. I'm used to
Middle school.
a lot of modern sequels they're like every year, every other year, or they're like every 6 years. Or if you're James Cameron, it's every probably century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we getting Avatar too?
Supposedly.
With this,
Well, it's on the title list of upcoming movies. Just
Right.
Have a date then.
Yeah. Well,
So Lost World stood out to you because boobs. All right.
Yeah, I have a terrible memory. You put me on the spot and it just goes.
That's okay. That's okay.
I have no idea what my first movie was. There are movies I remember when we were younger, because we used to have that movie theater in the mall. That was kind of like our family's go-to theater, because that was before we had built the other one.
Yeah.
I remember seeing movies like when I was younger. We saw a double feature once. Like, I think one of them was Maverick with Mel Gibson. When I was super young. I don't remember what the first movie was before that. I remember not being into that one, being really into Maverick.
I think the first Mel Gibson movie I saw in theaters was Payback. It's the first one I remember, anyway. Might have been Lethal
My
Weapon.
problem is I watch a lot of movies, so I can't remember what I've seen in theaters, what I've seen just getting the DVDs.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's hard to recall. We didn't go to the theaters a lot.
My life was really boring, so like the theater was one of the highlights.
Power Rangers. I saw the original Power Rangers movie.
Yeah,
That was-
the one when it was still the original cast and it had the White Ranger.
Yeah,
I remember that
seeing
movie.
that. That was the smallest theater. There's like maybe 2 rows.
It's
still
so
haven't seen
crazy
that.
to think
Yeah.
that they're rebooting it and
It
having
looks-
a brand new movie.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. Like, I need to see that movie. It looks really good.
Since we're kind of on the subject, man, look it up real quick. This guy's name, I can never pronounce it. He did the Punisher short, the rated R Power Rangers short, the Venom short, and a couple other short movies that were really good. There it is, unauthorized bootleg.
Oh, YouTube
Joseph.
still has it.
Adi Shankar.
Shout out to him, apparently.
So he's the guy behind the new Castlevania show.
Oh, what?
But he's also the one who said, "Hey, I want to do a rated R Power Ranger reboot."
Oh yeah, I think I've seen that short. Like where they're like very in the rocks and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
The reason I wanted to bring it up though, since we are a video game related and movie related podcast, what do you guys think of the idea of a Castlevania show?
I don't know how it's gonna work, but yeah, that's my most movies that are made from video games don't usually turn out all that
True.
Yeah, true.
However, you have rich lore in there. You have a ton of stuff that they can pull from. The entire Belmont family, Alucard, Dracula, what they did with, even though the second game wasn't very good, but Lords of Shadow, what they did with that and turning him into Dracula was really
That was
cool.
a good game.
And
some of the DS and 3DS games are really good too.
Oh yeah, of course. Circle of the Moon, Aria of Sorrow,
Ecclesia.
Aria of
That
Sorrow
one was really
2,
hard.
Ecclesia. Those are the main ones, but those are all kind of like the Metroidvania, what we would call Metroidvania games.
Even though Ecclesia was really hard, it wouldn't be Souls-like, right? Alright, Prelude we'll talk about it in a little bit.
Oh man,
We'll get there. We'll get there.
The hearts in those games could be considered the early
Stamina
bar.
Stamina bar.
Throwing them knives, man, wasting all your stamina hearts.
That game was hard. I
had save points too, kind of like bonfires. Like look at Alucard's coffin.
Yeah. Oh my, Japan.
It's basically a bonfire.
I want to talk about.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
But I need to see a trailer first before I can really kind of
solidify
an opinion. The only thing, like you're talking about, they're probably going to do the Belmont family first to establish, but having such a strong affinity for Symphony of the Night, I really would like it to be centered around Alucard. I think a lot of other people would too. Because he's that kind of torn between, what he really is and between trying to be human at the same time.
The only issue I have is I feel like that almost might tread into Vampire Hunter D territory. Because you have Vampire Hunter D, which
already like that. So
right. Yeah. I mean, how many people know Vampire Hunter D? I don't know. But he is essentially Alucard. He is Dracula's son, or Dracula himself.
His name is Alucard, isn't he?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure there's an anime where it's
I think he might even be Dracula though.
Oh, okay. Maybe
no, but he's a Dhampir. He's a half blood. It'd be weird if he was Dracula.
Yeah, Dracula's full. He's half because his mother.
I didn't do any research before bringing up Vampire Hunter D. It's been a while since I've watched any of the animes or read the manga.
Probably 10 years. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
Since before I met Jessica.
Really?
So probably 11, 12 years.
Yeah. That's right around the time where it was really popular though. Because Naruto came out and you're just like, what?
Right.
What is any other anime?
And then Shippuden came out, and you were just
like,
oh,
God, watch that forever.
This show is genius.
It never ends.
It doesn't end.
It doesn't. I mean, it did end, but it took
It never ends in our hearts.
Naruto, right? You even watched any of that?
I haven't, no.
The new game that they updated the 4.
Oh, okay.
You call those Naruto games? Storm something?
Yeah,
some Storm. They updated it and added Naruto into it to make. And then relaunched it for $60.
Service Wrath developers do that, right? CyberConnect.
I think so. I wish they would make it in Service Wrath too. That'd be really great. That'd be a great game. I want a finger coming from space to crush something. Really
sword piercing the moon.
Sword piercing the moon. Okay. Speaking of Japanese games
and swords piercing moons,
swords piercing moons.
Neo has pierced my moon.
I haven't.
I hope the camera caught it.
Yes, facial expression.
That was really good.
Okay. I was not looking at the camera, so it probably didn't. But it probably didn't pierce your moon. I hope. But
there's some swords piercing my moon.
But you both, you both are enjoying Neo thoroughly. You both played way more than I have.
I have probably put more hours in than either of you.
I think we all love that game.
I do love that game. When I'm not fighting a boss. Otherwise, it's great.
I think the boss fights are the highlight. It's very interesting to me because,
maybe break a controller, but that's,
Which is weird, because the gameplay is more like, for me, I mean, everyone calls it a Souls-like game, but I find it more like the loot grind aspect and then just wailing on monsters more Diablo-esque. And so when I get, like in Diablo, when you get to the boss that you fight, you're like, you're like not really excited to fight the boss. You're more excited to go back and get more loot and keep grinding, keep going.
I would say if I were to combine some games for this, it would be Onimusha, Ninja Gaiden, and Diablo. I think those 3 games epitomize what Neo is.
I played Neo for a full day, almost like Ninja Gaiden. I had the ninja garb on. I had the dual swords, and I was running around, dodging and slashing. And
but unlike Ninja Gaiden, there's no jump.
True.
People are like, "Why isn't this game have a jump?" Do you feel like it needs a jump?
There is a move that gives you a jump slash.
But like an actual dedicated, because like Ninja Gaiden, like you had to jump.
I think if there was a jump, you'd be able to bypass almost all of their blocks that make you go around and explore more of the zone. Because I've already found several places where I can bypass an entire section of the town just by walking off a cliff. So if I was able to jump, I'd be able to bypass anything.
Or jump through some of those like blocks like fire and stuff.
Yeah, I think the reduction in mobility in this game is really part of what it's all about. I feel like if you did have some of the higher end mobility, it would really change how they would have had to design the levels.
Yeah, which is very Maze-esque. I really like the level design.
And in any video game,
it's more amazing too. There's the Temple of Doom. You're gonna find out. I can't remember what it's actually called, but I called it the Temple of Doom. I got down in there. I was like, "What the hell is this?" Yeah. And then there's like the
there's no map, right?
No map.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and not in the Temple of Doom.
No. I meant like in Neo specifically. There's no map.
Yeah.
To follow.
Not for the levels.
Yeah, there is.
Is there?
Yeah.
Like, can you bring up like a just?
I've been playing a lot, and I've never brought up a map.
Yeah, it's basically it shows you like the group part of it with a little triangle of which way you're facing.
You mean the mini map?
No, I'm not talking about the mini map up in the corner. I'm talking about the physical map.
Okay.
Oh, you mean the one in the main hub area?
No, here.
What is this? Like, I played this.
Search this real quick.
This is funny because that would have made some of these.
It's very much like Final Fantasy maps.
What button do you press for the map?
I'm trying to remember, and I don't.
You could look it up right now.
I could, but should I turn my back on the
camera?
Go to
images, see if that pops it up.
Good radio. The only thing we're seeing is
the world map. I've seen the world map.
Okay,
like
maybe I'm crazy, and I'm mixing it up with Resident Evil because I just played Resident Evil this morning. Finally,
if you guys have an opinion on the map in Neo,
leave a comment because I'm not remembering at the moment.
Comment, tweet, email. So,
but after playing, probably 10 hours of Neo.
For me, all 10 hours were just 5
and then jumping into Resident Evil this morning, I may be melding the map thing into Neo.
Same colors, the aesthetics
are
kind of the same.
I've played 1/10 of Resident Evil in comparison to how much I've played Neo. So I might just be...
The great thing about the two, like, you'll definitely change and switch. I like how Resident Evil has, like, different... You're still in the same kind of area, but the environment's changed depending on where you are. On
I would like to
the
bring
compounds,
up
essentially.
VR got Phil motion sick for the first time ever.
Maybe we gotta try this again. I've never
got sick.
Yeah, I've never got motion sickness in my life, and I've played a lot of VR. Most notably the one
PlayStation Rift. Did you try Rift yet?
Yeah.
Really?
But Riggs was the one that I thought, if anything, that'll give me motion sickness. It's a fast-paced, full motion shooter. I played the demo for that quite a few times and never got any sort of motion sickness. I did. I'm kind of sad that the company got closed down and they're probably going to be dropping support for it.
I don't know. The game just didn't seem well polished for VR. I just didn't like it.
I liked it a lot.
I think it was just there's so much happening.
Visually, there's a lot.
There's a lot happening, and I just got confused and didn't know how to play the game.
Right? Yeah, no, that's true. But I've never got motion sickness in my life under any circumstance. And today, after trying to play, I'm getting older. Thank you, Anthony. After that, about an hour of playing, I couldn't play anymore. I will say that in VR, they don't let you adjust the brightness. And I feel like the contrast between the whites and the darks really created a strain on my eyes. So that mixed with the motion, maybe.
There's also a lot more screen dooring in PlayStation VR than you get in the clearness of the Vive. Like when we were testing that Vive for that one time, No, I didn't
It's-
notice any screen door.
it's
even when it cut to
also
black.
a slightly worse refresh rate and
Resolution.
a slightly worse resolution. So yeah, all of those factors could be contributors to why it's happening.
Part of the resolution, I feel like, is not necessarily PlayStation VR's fault, but on Resident Evil 7 because it's
Well, the intro outside area is
yeah,
terrible, right?
it's just not graphically on the level that you would think of being for PlayStation 4 that they could have made Resident Evil 7. And I
I think
think
it's because they didn't expect you to spend much time out there. They wanted you to just get in the house and go.
not just that. I mean, we were talking about earlier. There are some really nice moments in
Yeah,
Resident Evil 7.
absolutely.
But,
Some of it's gorgeous.
but for a 10-hour game, essentially, that is moderately okay visually, and then you have Uncharted, which is a much longer game and looks 10 times better. Like Resident Evil.
Well, is it much longer? If you just play the main missions in that, you're doing pretty quick.
I don't know. The game is pretty. The game
Yeah,
is
Is pretty
definitely
what you like the way it looks?
is pretty. On PC.
Okay.
PC
I
Masters.
yeah, I have not loaded up the PC version yet for the.
Hashtag PC Master.
I will visually see if it looks right. Because I'm gonna replay that first area again and see if it looks any better on PC than it does on PlayStation 4.
does.
Because it's just terrible on PlayStation
It
4.
looks really good on PC.
Okay.
I've been
So is it PlayStation? Is it because we're not on PlayStation Pros?
no,
No.
definitely not.
Not on PlayStation
It
Pros
does
for
look
boost mode?
better. From I don't know from firsthand experience, but it does look better on PlayStation 4 Pro.
Okay.
Even in VR.
Okay. So some of it is the hardware limitation that they're working with.
I believe so. But I mean that's always been PSVR's drawback.
Yeah.
Is the hardware limitation.
Well, that's why I'm wondering, because of the way that PlayStation VR is better supported on the Pro, would it look better in VR mode on the Pro?
Yes, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay. So, sounds like to me we need to
I think
get
I think
the
it's
Pro
going to
in
be
studio. Right? We can allocate funds for that? Tax?
yeah, no.
No.
I
Ah.
mean, if this is going to be a business, right? We can start
If it's
looking
going to
at
be a
it.
business,
It is a business, but like, our finance director wants to write it off. I'll let us buy one.
Come on, Phil. Where's the company funds? Give us
Yeah.
$400 right
our company funds
500.
are our bi-monthly paychecks.
I think it's $4.99 or $3.99. I think it's $4.99.
The Pro?
Pro.
I thought it was
$3.99. Okay.
And our bi-monthly paychecks are whoever pays us from the jobs that we have.
Yeah.
I know.
And
We don't make money from this.
We have Horizon Zero Dawn coming up that we need to purchase, and
I've
then
already paid for it.
we got Switch. Yeah, so two of our. Are you gonna get?
Well, I think that's one of the funniest things about Neo is that originally I was going to be the only one to buy it, and
Yeah.
under the assumption, kind of, sorta, which again we're going to get to soon, it was Dark Souls esque.
because you that's what you play.
Right.
That's
I played
you.
a lot of Souls games.
I have played all of the Souls game, but I've only played Demon Souls 100% completion.
They make me want to kill people.
And you've really only played Bloodborne.
I played Bloodborne. I played Demon Souls 2 until, like Phil said when we were talking earlier about, I got to a point where I was screaming at the TV and I threw my controller and told him to take the
I
game
got
away
to
from me.
the same point right after the poison bog swamp area, and I finally beat that spider chick, and then but I just kind of fell off the game because I think other games came out after that.
Yeah.
I really got back on board with Bloodborne. Dark Souls 3 not so much, or 2. I don't know what it is about Dark Souls, but I don't.
I
really
think
like
Dark
it.
Souls 1 definitely had a skill cap when it came to the poison bog.
Yeah.
So many people, I guarantee you, quit when they got to that point. It was so early in that game.
Yeah.
In Dark Souls 3, you don't see it until you're probably over a third through the game. Where in Dark Souls, it's like the second area you can go to.
Mhm.
Okay. And then Bloodborne didn't have that. It didn't really hit that wall.
No, there was no real poison area
Yeah.
in Bloodborne. I mean, there was
not so much poison area, but it's that area where you're just like, what were they thinking? Like this
Right.
I
is
would like to say
It's on the-
Neo does have a poison area. It's in
Does it have a
the
poison
silver
area?
mines, and you have to use these pumps to clear out the air. And then kill
fucking
the
Dark Souls clone.
But they-
Throw the cans.
But they give you like a mechanic. That's the cool thing about Neo. They give you
Some way to clear it.
environmental mechanics to clear it. Like in the first level, they give you that big thing of water once you get to the end.
So you can
clear it.
make
Yeah,
a shortcut.
clear out the shortcuts. But
Well-
but for Dark Souls 1, you just died until you made it to a
Right,
point
yeah,
where
yeah,
you could run to the boss
Absolutely.
multiple times and fight her. Like the area was just not designed. It was designed to the point where is this going to be fun, or
That was loud too.
is this going to be? Is this just hard? Like they made it hard, unfun, instead of just
Right.
hard. So,
Yeah.
and I haven't. Have you hit that wall yet? And Neo, you guys played for a while, where this it feels unfun because
No.
it's quote unquote.
Even when
Dark
I'm
Souls-like.
really pissed off, I haven't found a
I
point where
think-
it's not fun.
I think
yet.
Neo captures the same level of difficulty that Dark Souls captured for. I mean, not Dark Souls, Demon Souls captured for everyone. When you heard people talk about Demon Souls, what you heard was, "You guys, this game is so hard. I don't even know why I'm playing it."
Mhm.
However, when you beat a boss, you feel like the top goddamn motherfucker in the room.
you mean you did, like, especially when you the very
Well,
last boss.
I don't
when
know if you
tried.
guys got my text at whatever time when I finally beat the person I've been fighting forever,
Mhm.
and it was just all caps and like.
Oh, yeah, when you broke the controller.
Yeah.
When you threw
I
it?
finally beat that bastard. I'm pretty sure is what it
Yeah.
Warned
said.
us that you were going to break your controller. Probably.
Yeah.
You said it.
Yeah.
I'm going
That was
to break
earlier
your
in the
controller.
night, and then by 2 a.m. I broke the controller. But today, I beat that boss. So.
See, for me, I don't get angry. I just lose motivation to keep going. So on the first boss, not the executioner, but the first mission world boss,
I can be stubborn.
I probably fought him maybe 30 times. And like other people are like, I did it 5, it was really frustrating, but I still finished it. 30 times. I summoned in 3 different people to try and help me. All useless. You're all useless in this game if you... Jesus. The summon mechanic, I don't know why they dumbed it down to make it easier, because if you summon in useless people...
Okay, stop
it doesn't
channeling.
work.
Stop channeling your Heroes of the Storm persona. Calm down. Not everyone's a scrub. It's
There's scraps
okay.
in that game
It's
too.
okay.
So the
Scrub.
first guy I summoned in on that boss just wiped the floor with that boss and helped me immensely.
I
would like to say that not everybody's a scrub.
I had varying levels of people better at it than one. One guy died like immediately before second phase, but the other 2 at least got to second phase, and then it didn't work. But when instead of getting angry like him, I just run. Oh, I got hit once. Well, I might just stand here and just die and just do it all over again. But-
hit dozens of times like heal.
I know.
Run
It's
back
just
in.
I knew like at a certain point if I had to use a heal this early, I wouldn't need my heal later when I needed it. So I'm just like, I might as well just die and give up. But like, and then like you Googled it like you would a Demon Souls or Dark Souls game, and I found this one guy. I don't know his name. Shout out to him. Told me, short little YouTube video showed me how to beat it in like a minute.
Yeah, you were saying Wind Talisman.
Win Talisman. If you need help out there, win Talisman, and then Ultimate, and then you're good to go.
On the first boss.
On the first
I
boss.
still have not used any YouTube videos telling me how to fight bosses. I just fight them until I get them, which is probably why.
Well, you have a strategy for the boss you were so frustrated
Well, it
with.
wasn't really a boss. It's just one of the mini side quests, and it's a.
It sounds like a boss.
So
It's
was it
kind of
was it even like a main
It's not a
mission?
main
No, it's a
mission.
side mission.
It was a side
Oh.
mission, and you're basically fighting one of your friends that you meet. It's the Warrior of the West, the guy with the weird circle on
Spoilers.
his helmet. Spoilers.
Spoilers. You guys are your friends. Don't be nice to him.
No, he's your friend. You don't kill him. It's like, but after you beat him, he's like, I didn't expect such a fight, and so on. But he's lightning based, so you're going to want lightning resistance. And what I did to make it easier on myself is I started the mission right at the base before he aggroes you, and I pulled out the hand cannon and I shot him in the head. That drops him to the ground. While he's on the ground, I shot him again. He stood up. I shot him in the head. He fell to the ground and did it again. Before I even encountered him with melee, I had him at half health. So
Which
that,
is wow.
Now, so you shot him in the head with a hand cannon.
Yeah.
And then you ran up to him and stabbed him.
no, I
Oh, no,
stayed where I
you
was.
Just shot him in
I
the
shot
face.
him, and then I shot him when he was on the ground. Then I shot him again. Then I shot him again, and
So-
then he was
It staggered him essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now
And then
this
I
is-
ran around
this is
the
a whip-
rock,
the
well,
hand
he did-
cannon.
the hand cannon.
Okay.
So and then I ran like basically pillar humped him until I killed him.
So there's a
Around-
pillar.
there's
is
a
it
rock.
Just one kind of rock
There's
pillar.
one big rock in there.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's how I dodged his arrows and his lightning attacks and his charges.
Now, so people can get an idea of where this is this in the Spider Bitch
no, after you
area, or is
beat
this
the
in the
third,
Temple of Doom area, or is
after you
this
beat
in
the third mission, it'll show up on the world map. It's just a
Oh, it's a
fight.
random area.
He's the one that gives you dual paired Ryzen, which is one of your guardians. He'll give you the dual lightning dogs.
Ooh, that sounds
But-
very cool.
But what I mean is he in one of the, because most of the
No,
side
he's one of
missions
your
take
friends.
place. Well, most of the side missions take place in the areas within the game.
It's just north of the second mission, I think it was. So
So, but it's not
It's
a
just-
location within the second mission.
No, it's just on the
Okay.
world map, and it's a single arena, a little room. There's no shrine. There's nothing in there except the room and him.
That's cool.
That's cool. You don't have to like get up and run
No,
past things. Just
you
fight 'em.
spawn there. You all of a sudden you have full elixirs and you have full ninjutsu and everything again. You
Yeah.
just go
So
trying it.
most of the
You don't
side
get
missions
full
in this game take place. They basically similar to Hitman.
Mhm.
I love referencing Hitman anytime I can.
Love Hitman. We love Hitman at the studio.
So in Hitman, they redress the levels and cut certain paths off
Yeah.
to make them different
That's
and
what this
function
game does.
differently. This game does the same thing in the side missions, where it'll cut certain areas off, and you're stuck in a certain location or a completely different pathway.
Mhm.
As you were saying earlier, the game is maze-like.
yeah, very amazing.
So they can cut any of those pathways off and create a new kind of pathway.
But I would like to
So-
say that there are side missions that don't involve the main mission areas at all. There's
Well,
several of them now. So.
That's what I wanted to check, because you're farther than both of us.
Yeah.
That's really cool to hear.
And I would
that-
like to say the only reason I got so mad is because it was 2 a.m. and when I broke my controller, he had the tiniest sliver of health left.
Yeah.
One or two hits, he would have died, and then he took all my stamina and killed me.
I had some instances on my first boss, like just one more hit if I did do it, and then his splat. He had so much splash damage. I swear. Some of those, like if I stood too close to him, one of his balls after he swung it would just fall on top of you,
yeah.
like just right on you. It just didn't
Teabag
physics
you.
wasn't working. Like I don't know what's going on.
I love it
I would like
when
to say
balls just fall on me.
Is that what you heard?
Well,
is that all you heard when I was saying that?
That
Yeah,
is
makes sense.
all I.
I would
that's
like to
all I-
ask, you two have been playing for a while also. Are
Yeah.
you guys getting these small soulstone shards? I have 0 in my inventory, but every time I find one on the ground, I cannot pick it up because it says I can't carry it.
Smalls, the ones that you can pop for more emery. Though.
Yeah, but this is
Yeah.
small ones. I can pick up the normal size ones, I can pick up the large ones, but the small ones will not pick up for
Yeah, I have them in my inventory. I've been using
me. Like,
them.
originally I
have
was.
cash
I got up to
for some
30, and now I'm down to 0, and I can't pick up anymore.
Wonder
It
if
still
it's a bug.
says I can't.
Oh. I haven't heard of any bugs like that. It's really
Alright.
strange.
Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not noticing something, or it's weird.
Try. You have a chest that you can put stuff in. Maybe if you move stuff around there. it
Yeah,
fixes
try
itself.
storing it, and
Maybe it
Yeah,
shows 0,
that's
but I have a
fine.
99, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah, you might have a lot of.
or
soul
maybe
on it.
maybe you picked up like 100 and it just glitched.
Maybe.
Hopefully, it was
Try
yeah.
try using it.
Because I had
Try
3.
using one?
Well, it showed 3, and then I used those 3, and I'm at 0, and I can't use anymore. But
Huh.
it does say 0 out of 100, and then I shouldn't hold a slot if it's gone, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
weird.
that wouldn't be fun because that's like a lot of experience that you might be missing.
Yeah,
out on.
potentially.
I still
So,
have all the large
one-
normal size souls.
One nice thing I really like about this game is similar to using like the heroes' souls or the warrior souls in Dark Souls, or the Blood Echoes
Yeah.
gems, the Blood Gems in Bloodborne. The Amrita stones in this actually fill up your spirit animal
Guardian,
gauge.
yeah.
Yeah, your guardian
Oh, I
gauge.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty
if you
cool.
want to get a fight and you don't want to fight a bunch of enemies to build it up again, you just use
Or
like
you've killed
3.
every enemy.
Yeah, just use like 3 of the normal size stones, and your gauge will be full. Or if you have a higher gauge fill, it'd probably be 2.
Well, I also like how they gauge if you go and pick up your essentially soul or your spirit animal thing again, the gauge fills back up.
It stays where it
It
was.
does stays
yeah.
where it was.
Yeah,
it doesn't
right.
deplete. So every time I went back down to fight that guy, my gauge was still good. So if it was low and I know I need to use it, I knew I'd probably have to fight him like 3 times if I
Right.
couldn't make it to fill the gauge back up.
Yeah, the only time it dissipates is if you die twice.
And then you lose
Because
it.
it's basically like you lost all your Amrita, you lost all your power, you lost your
Oh yeah. Like,
You're
twice,
disgraced.
Like die and then
Yeah.
die again before going back.
You have been disgraced!
Or call it back. If you call back
You
your,
lose all
your
your
spirit and you lose all your emery.
Because again, disgraced.
levels. Yeah.
Right.
Which I did not
It's
know
saying
what
you're a
that
failure.
was.
Yeah, didn't you find a weapon that could you commit seppuku? and
It's
it
not a
takes you to
weapon.
the
It's an
nearest
item in your inventory, and I'm sure you guys are going to find it too, because it's part of the story missions. But yeah, it's the Harry Carry, something like that, blade, and you just basically it's in your inventory. You use it, it kills you, and takes you to the nearest shrine. It's like, okay, I give up.
Yeah, I have I have like that in my inventory. Did you not?
But you
get
do
that in
lose
the
all
first
your
mission?
shrine. I might have.
Yeah.
Okay, there's 2 items that you get in the first mission, and they're kind of similar. One will take you back to the main menu, and I think one
That's
will
the
take you
branch of
back to a
something.
shrine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So your last shrine you went to, if you need to go back or whatever.
So you do lose all your Amrita.
I gotta say though, one thing that I absolutely love is that the shortcut system and the weapon system
The shortcut system
is so fluid.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Being able to switch between 8 different consumable items, whether they're attack items, health items, buff items, debuff items.
and I automatically synced to where the first section is healing items, the second section is all attack
did the
stuff.
same
So-
thing.
Yeah, me too. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
That way I was never going to accidentally use one or the other.
I still accidentally use it, but I know like when I need to. Like,
What?
I used to switch, but like it's clear in my head.
Right, but if I'm running around and I accidentally throw a kunai, I'm not going to be sad about it.
No,
If I run around and I accidentally use an elixir, I'm going to be kind of sad about
I
it.
use 2 sacred waters on accident on purpose.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
maybe in the
Pretty much the
I don't
same
know.
thing.
Yeah. So
And then being able to switch almost instantly between your 2 melee weapons and your 2 ranged weapons is so nice.
once you get it down, did you find it a little difficult getting used to the control scheme and
It took me a while,
The
but I was
stance.
playing a lot of other games before this, so it was.
the stance one? Like some people I watched the
I
videos
still don't
and
really
they
use the stance.
do it
that
on the
much.
fly.
I am probably switching quite constantly. When I first started, I didn't switch weapons and I didn't switch stances. But as I started fighting more varied enemies, I would start to utilize different weapons or different stances.
I am switching a little
so it
more
is
now,
getting
also,
better.
but I pretty much live in mid stance.
If you use the sickle and chain, you have to switch between the 3 stances depending on
Yeah.
what you're doing. 'Cause
Yeah,
the
depending on
mid
what you're fighting.
stance is good for multiple enemies, and one enemy is for low stance, and then for range or keeping things at bay, you want to use high stance.
High stance is also great for single target if you have them stunned. So, like, let's say because there's an ability with the sickle and chain. If you throw it out and you bring an enemy toward you,
So I haven't got that yet.
yeah, it's one of the ninjutsu skills.
It's a scorpion skill.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Like, I want that skill. I want
or
that
not ninjutsu. It's one of the skills in the
sickle
tree.
Sickle
Yeah.
So you bring them toward you. Now, not every enemy allows you to do this. Some of them bring you toward them, but either way, it stuns them for a second most of the time, unless of course they're a larger enemy. But you can utilize high stance, and even though it has higher startup, it does so much damage.
It's very satisfying.
Very, very satisfying.
My favorite thing so far in this game, and I've already gotten all the titles for it, is the sneaking up behind people and stabbing them back.
Yeah, I saw that in the tree, and I really wanted that. Because they do it, like, I just walk up behind them, and I sneak up behind them, and I'm like, there's
Now, you
no
actually
prompt for
you
it. I'm
get
really
that skill
excited
when
about
you do like the dojo thing for something, didn't we? Or did I have to learn that?
You have
Because
to-
it
I know you have
unlocked
to clear-
automatically.
I know you have to clear a mission. It says clear,
Yeah.
question mark
Wait,
mission.
for what?
The
For
backstab.
backstab.
The backstab
You
is
got it
for
most
when
recently.
you defeat the
Spider Lady.
ninjutsu mission.
Dojo.
Yeah, the ninjutsu dojo.
When you get ninja guard, can I go get
yeah.
it now?
Yeah,
So
you
I've done-
should be
I've
able
done
to
that.
purchase
You
backstab.
should already have it, yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna double check that.
Which
one.
is like a stealth kill, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and if you go on high, it seems to do a little more damage, but it's not really noticeable.
It's interesting how each stance changes too, because you have slightly better dash speed and range when you're in light, medium, and heavy.
low stance. Yeah.
At least from my experimentation.
With double katanas, if you're in low stance, that's you move
Yeah,
way
you move
faster.
fast. And I
you
think
move
that's
faster. So you have
across
the
the board.
better dodge ability. So that's kind of like how which I like to play. I don't like. I always forget to block. I'm always
I don't block.
Now,
I don't. Yeah, I'm always dashing about, so I love being in low stance because
so
that's my place.
you know when you
Well, I'm
hit
at mid stance, but I have a shit ton of stamina. So
Yeah.
you know when
Sure.
you hit a key pulse perfectly,
Oh, I'm
and
all about the key pulse.
it does like the shadow weird thing.
yeah.
The
the
mission
key
when you,
pulse.
Yeah.
when you reload your stamina, your key.
Right, yeah, and
Yeah.
it's almost like you do like a weird like ninjutsu stance thing or something, where it's like a shadow version of yourself.
Oh, that's a skill that you have.
Is it?
Oh, is that a skill? Okay.
That's a skill. If you fix it, my sword has. If I successfully completed key pulse, it does something. So I'm sure your sickle has the same thing.
Huh, I feel like I've been doing it the whole game though. It's like when you hit it just right, there's a burst of light.
Well, that's the purification.
That's the
Right,
Yeah.
it's like a shadow animation of yourself though.
Yeah, I might not. We
Wow.
might not be looking as closely as you are, but yeah, definitely after you finish
I am an animation whore.
your combo string and you notice like the shadow
The
kind
ring
of the
blue
ring
lights.
of blue lights, and you press your
Right.
R1 and then you refill some of your key.
Right, and when you hit it just right, this like shadow version of yourself kind of like does a weird little thing.
Maybe I'm not hitting it at the right time. I just do it to gain some of my ki.
I do it for ki, and I do it for purifying the stupid gray circles.
Right.
I kind of do that secondary because I'm like moving around so fast in low stands. I don't stay in the gray circles long enough.
I don't
Oh
usually
man,
either.
in some of the bigger fights, you definitely need to.
Well, for on the first boss, he would after in the second phase, he was definitely creating a lot of pools. But I think it was just because I ki pulse after every single succession of.
My problem is I tend
combos.
to forget doing that when I'm fighting somebody because I'm too focused on not being hit.
For me, that's a block. For me, I don't remember the block, but
Yeah.
I'm always ki pulsing.
And
I think it's just too much for.
you'd think that playing Dark Souls, you'd think that block would just drain your stamina, but that's not true.
It does drain your stamina.
No, it does, but it's not like 2 attacks and your stamina's gone.
It depends on what you're fighting.
It depends on what you're fighting. That's
That,
true.
that
and what
lightning
stance you are.
samurai hit me while I was blocking twice, and my stamina was
Doesn't
gone.
lightning have a bonus to stamina drain though?
But when I was in high stance with dual katanas and I was blocking that boss, didn't really affect my ki at all. But if I was in another stance, all gone.
Oh, that's right. We need to stop calling it stamina because
It's ki. Yeah,
Ki
it's ki.
energy.
It's ki. And it's essentially a stamina bar. They just call it ki.
But the whole reason I was bringing that up is, I guess since you guys haven't really seen it when you're purifying, it also happens when you dash. Like
I've seen that.
that's
I dash all the
it's
time.
the same animation, but when you do the ki pulse,
Okay.
or not the same animation, but it's a similar
Same.
shadow like version of yourself that
Okay.
flashes. I assume those are invincibility frames because it's happening during an attack. Like I'm thinking maybe it's saying that you dodged at the right
Well,
time
when I do
during
the
an
dash
attack.
backwards, I'll be that multiple images of myself backwards, and
Right.
they don't hit me, so it might be.
Yeah, I'm thinking you dodged just at the right time that it created an invincibility frame.
There are some. I noticed some of that on Ball's boss because
Balls
when
boss.
he's swinging his way,
them big balls, swinging them big balls.
subscribe, like so. When he would swing them, and if you dash at the right time, you can dash through his chain. I don't know if that's meant to be on purpose or just part of the game itself, but you could dash through the balls, you could dash through the chain,
Yeah.
and he can hit you.
Definitely some invincibility frames within those dashes. But I just wondered if the animation signifies, because there's a lot in Neo that is not explained.
No, nothing's explained.
There's
there's a little bit in the context of menus, but especially like when you were trying to level up that one night, you're like, where if I want dual katanas, would I level it up in?
Yeah.
Do I level up my cyclone chain? Like,
Yeah. And then on top of that, you have gotten through the third boss, and after the third boss, some new dojo levels open up. You remember, because you told me the one where you were blocking the weapon or whatever? You were doing the weapon block?
Oh,
Didn't
yeah,
that
but
show up after the third boss in the dojo?
do you have 3?
There's
Dojo?
3, yeah.
I mean, don't you have 3 right now in yours?
Yeah.
Then no, it doesn't unlock.
Oh, so it's one of the first 2?
Yeah.
Huh.
It was. I think it was the ninjutsu one or one of the samurai. Way of the samurai.
Because I
maybe.
don't remember doing any of like the stuff you were talking about in those tutorials.
I don't think it was in the tutorial. I think I was looking at my skill sets and I was looking at the.
Oh,
Or
you were
playing
watching the
movies.
video. Yeah, there's okay. So, pro tip, you guys: anything in this game that's a new skill or a new move, down at the very bottom it says press triangle to play movie,
You can see what it looks
and
like.
you can
what it
see
does.
what the heck they're doing. Do
I use that a lot. You know, if I wanted to unlock that skill yet, if I was going
Right,
to use it
right.
or not. And that's
Absolutely.
and that's for ones that are activatable skills. It's not for ones that
right.
you can't button press.
But that's something that kind of would have been nice to have in maybe the tutorial that the game has.
Yeah.
Tutorial.
Yeah.
Did you play one?
That was a dojo. And
Oh,
that was the
Well,
That
there's
I
so you-
forgot about that.
Well, no. You have the main mission,
Yeah.
which is
and
the
then
tower.
once, or the not main mission,
Prologue.
but the prologue mission. Once you beat it, it asks you if you want to do the tutorial. You can say yes or no. If you
and
say
that takes
no,
you to the dojo and you go around.
right.
Yeah, I did that. I just forgot.
If you say no, it takes you straight to the game and you get to play. However, once you get back to the main map, you can go to the dojo and replay those tutorial missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in order to unlock the more ninja stuff, I had to go back to the tutorial.
Well,
map.
That's not the
that
tutorial.
unlocks after.
That's
I know, but that's more dojo stuff
Right.
that they put in the game that helps you unlock. So it's definitely good to go back and unlock some of those.
That's how you unlock different skills too as you progress.
So, what weapons are you using?
Dual swords and the katana.
It looks really
Standing
sick.
stone.
I'm all over swords.
It looks really sick when
Yeah.
your character has all
What's the
three
character
sheets.
from One Piece that uses all the
Oh,
swords?
I know who you're talking about. I
Yeah.
do not remember his name.
God,
on
we
the fail.
We fail so much.
People are like yelling at
I know they're just yelling at the screen. The trolls are on their keyboards like,
God, I can't believe he doesn't know this One Piece character.
I looked him up recently because of the One Piece iOS game. Like, he's one of the characters you get to pick from out of a couple.
I almost
I
downloaded
actually
that
never watched
because
One
it
Piece.
reminded me of the Bleach game.
I'm terrible, right?
Oh, it does remind me of Bleach. I still play that Bleach game.
You should just type One Piece sword guy. I'm sure it would have came up.
It's a lot.
You're gonna go down to the character list, aren't you?
It's right here. I know, right? Yeah. No.
Nope.
Yeah.
You lost.
I am lost. So.
Command F characters. Just type sword guy. Swordsman. That worked too.
Oh, there he is, Zoro. His name is
His
literally.
name is
No
literally
wonder I
Zoro.
can't
His
remember.
name is literally Zoro.
Yeah, but except he has all the swords on one side.
Right.
Zoro Noah Zoro. Pirate Hunter Zoro. His name is literally Zoro. He's got 3 swords. I don't know. His Anthony's Neo character looks. I mean, because both of those swords are like huge. Zoro.
Well, my
and-
large katana has because it's elemental. It has one of those rings on the end, and it's like the big, and it's red, so it kind of clashes.
And
against
the
everything else.
animation just has them all angled, like
Yeah.
someone who is wielding 3 swords would have them angled in each drawing.
Right.
It looks really cool.
What
What are you using?
I'm using the chain sickle, which is Kusuragami, I believe is what it's called.
Well, there's different
sure.
names for them. You have different as you get higher, they're going to have different names too.
Well, that's
Right, but
different.
The,
like
the main
names.
class is the
Chain sickles.
Kusuragami.
Chain sickle is pretty.
Chain sickle is I think everyone will know what we're talking about. And then standard katana because I grew up watching Kurosawa films. And,
Well, you also the main standard katana is where you start getting the elemental stuff first. You're going to do you should already have your lightning blade, or you're going to get it soon.
I'm gonna get it once I'm almost through the 3rd mission. So.
Okay.
I will look at
Main mission, 3rd
the name
mission.
of it. Yeah. So, well, I'm using the sickle chain and dual katanas because I read online that was a really great build to use if you just become ninja. It's one of the OP builds.
Well, yeah, both of those weapons have very fast,
Very fast damage.
attack
Yeah.
situations.
When I was nearing the end of the first mission, just decimating people in low stance with dual katanas, like just running around just crazy, just decimating.
Yeah, I think
Pretty much what I do. I have if I want to do quick attacks and dodge around a lot, I'm using my dual swords. When I'm going to do more damage, I'll pull out the katana. And if I'm going to do a backstab, I'll usually pull out the katana because it's twice as much damage usually.
Yeah, and lots of key in that build because just hitting multiple times so you don't hit as hard. And that's
Yeah.
kind of how I don't like running a key. If I can dodge and maneuver quickly enough, I won't get hit. So why do I need to pour a bunch of stats into health if I can just have as much key as possible?
Right.
So
I
that's
do
kinda
have
how
a
I play.
whole load of key right now. I have 19 in my key stat just because I got tired of being exhausted.
Yeah. Which so similar kind of stat adjustments that Dark Souls has. People keep calling this a Dark Souls game. Do you agree that this is Dark Souls like, as everyone on the internet?
there are
Keep saying.
similarities, but I mean, a lot of games have stats. RPGs and stats are synonymous with each other. If you want to talk like that, then like Dark Souls is a clone of Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Because you have a character that you create
And
and,
there's
you
save points.
you level up and you put stats.
Do you have these shrines and do people call it? I feel like people call it Dark Souls because it's hard. But Ninja Gaiden is hard.
Ninja Gaiden is hard.
Ninja Gaiden is harder than this game.
Ninja Gaiden had save shrines
Ninja Gaiden has save shrines.
and healing items.
So then break down even further. That is it the running back and grabbing your soul and reclaiming all those points that you lost. Is it the
Your
difficulty
experience is souls.
and
Then you can
the
lose.
Souls experience is
I-
why people call
I
it
definitely think that Neo
Amrita.
looked at some of the systems in Dark Souls games and thought, hey, that might complement our gaming system and what we've created. So yeah, the Amrita system, although similar to Dark Souls, is also just like Onimusha, where you're killing zombie samurai and sucking in their Oni souls. So
I would like to say that this is much more of a gear-based game, though. The Dark Souls game don't seem to have any. Well, the weapons have benefits, but this one you can get different gear sets with different stats, different bonuses.
Well, and that's why I call this game like the perfect baby between Onimusha, Ninja Gaiden, and Diablo.
And Diablo 1 and 2, right? You had to go back and get your corpse. You had to do a corpse run. So
even
is
3, wasn't it?
No, 3. Well, no, you don't have to corpse run in 3. You just revive. Maybe when it first came out, did you have to corpse run? I don't think you did. I think you just revived.
No, in the man, I know for the second one for sure.
I know,
you had corpse run.
And then the first
but
one.
it's been a while since I played the first one. But yeah, I think you did.
I think the first one was more roguelike than the other ones.
Right.
It's been so long since I played Diablo 1. But so Diablo was before any of those games. It was before Demon Souls, and it was before Monster Hunter. So is it more like, did Diablo do it first? Did Kingsfield do it first? Like who did it first? Like why do we call it Souls?
I feel like
for
the base structure of third person sword and board combat is heavily inspired by Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any way of denying that Monster Hunter influenced a ton of gaming in Japan.
Oh yeah.
And when you look
that
at
Pokemon's top selling games in Japan.
Yeah. When you look at what From Software was trying to do with Kingsfield, and then combine that with how popular Monster Hunter became, and then like they have a baby together to create Demon Souls, I think that's the real place that originated the Demon Souls style of gameplay. That and going back to the 16-bit era of games that were hard. I mean, we've kind of lost that. Monster Hunter was one of the first games to bring back difficulty.
Yeah, and there's no difficulty setting in this game. You just go in.
Well, there seems to be in the multiplayer. When I go to the Tori Shrine, there's a thing that says difficulty, but I can't change
Way
it
of the Samurai.
Yeah, but you can't go into a settings menu and select normal or easy like you can in Biohazard 7.
Easy and normal, and then eventually Madhouse mode.
Madhouse mode, yeah. So, and this is,
when you feel like dying.
To my knowledge, the first time Team Ninja has ever really done a game like this before, right? Like this kind of style.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ninja Gaiden, the first one on Xbox, may have had just one difficulty. Either that or it was just easy and hard.
Yeah, well, no, Ninja
easy and you're screwed.
Ninja Gaiden's not always been hard, except for Yaiba, which nobody really cares about. I don't give much.
And well, Ninja Gaiden 3 is kind of in that same boat.
Yeah,
it was kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, it was disappointing, but really hard.
I do think this is a return to form for Team Ninja. This really brings them out of the dead or alive
I love the art styles.
shadow. The what's that?
The art styles, the armors, the
character
models, the
samurai ninja. So if you look, it's such a small portion of the game, but the London Tower in Neo, the uniforms that you get
the London uniform
are the actual guard uniforms. They're a little bit different today, but they look almost identical. And theoretically, they probably did have the kind of gold, color scheme back in the 1600s.
Weird, like floofy kind of hats.
That still exists.
Yeah,
today.
So now what I'm going to do is I want to start up the game and I'll make myself look like a Tower of London Guard, and then we're going to go.
You still have So in this, I think that's a really cool thing that Team Ninja did with this game, because it blends, actual history from, because the main character is Irish, and which at the time was under English rule, I believe, and then the character goes to Japan, which Team Ninja's Japanese studio, so they know a lot about Japanese history.
I did hear a lot of
really
comments online about whitewashing when the game was first announced, because it's like a white ninja or a samurai.
This is
but
the second episode we brought up whitewashing both episodes so far.
It's kind of brought up on the internet a lot.
It'd be different if whitewashing.
But it's
is
not.
when you
I was going to say, but it's not, because he's actually Irish and he goes to Japan to fight there.
Yeah, he's actually white. Whitewashing, for those of you who don't know, is where you if the guy was a Japanese character and you casted him with a white person.
I've got an easy one. If this was Onimusha, because let's just throw Onimusha out here as much as we can in every episode.
So somebody who's played Onimusha before.
Right, and the main character was Samanosuke, a Japanese samurai, and they just made him Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise
That would be whitewash.
or Matt Damon.
And called him Seminole Skip.
Yeah, see, that's whitewashing. It's not whitewashing if it's
No.
a white person.
I was just saying, I was
It's
seeing
just
so
in
many
that
comments online before we knew any details. There was like, what is a white samurai? And it's whitewashing the blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, well.
I just want to know why he looks like Geralt.
True, he's Geralt.
Maybe because like when they're designing him, they're like, what does a old white guy look like? Well,
That's racist.
This game's really popular. Like, well, they never see white people. Like, it's millions
by
of
the
people
way,
that all look the same.
I would like to say that there is some character customization in this later on. You get to change his hairstyles, and you get to change
you
his
can't change
beard
the color
styles.
though. I can't be a younger.
which I'm really excited for. It's a little disappointed they didn't unlock that earlier in the thing.
Yeah, it
Just
would have been
go to
nice
the
to have
blacksmith
it.
and spend a crap load of money. You get it right away.
I do have a lot of money. I don't have anything to buy.
Just
Yeah.
don't even.
Not-
What you want to do is you want to soul match your gear.
I did a little bit of that, but then
No more.
it didn't seem like it would upgrade it anymore.
So what you want to look for is
higher levels.
when
It's
you're
only levels.
grinding for loot.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're grinding for loot, you'll notice that when you choose a weapon, you can go through all the other types of weapons.
Mhm.
If the result is, especially if you're familiar with that weapon, if the result is slightly less or more than where you're at now,
It's going
it's
to be
going to be
higher.
better because once you get full familiarity, it'll be stronger.
Which I'm
Because
in
there's
that
always a
situation.
familiarity skill.
I have a yellow one that's a level 10 and a purple one that's level 9. I was wondering,
So what you do is you take that purple one and you soul match it to the level 10 yellow one. Put the yellow 10, and then the purple
Mhm.
one will be level 10, and it'll be higher.
And your familiarity scale will be better because there's
It'll
more.
show you
Yeah.
when you max out your familiarity, even if you haven't already done
No.
it yet.
Well, it won't show you the max familiarity, but you have to assume
It's
that
going
if
to be
it's
more
like
for
2
900.
damage less with full familiarity, you've got 4 new bars to familiarize yourself with that weapon. And
Oh,
each one of
okay.
those levels scales the damage a little bit higher.
Do we? How much higher?
It'll
don't
be
know.
quite a bit by the time you're done.
Okay.
It's generally like 2 to like 7-ish points from what I've seen.
Because I have like one.
Just make your purple level
Let
10.
me put it
and
this
do
way.
Okay.
I just upgraded mine to a 209. I'm
Mhm.
about halfway familiarized with it. Two bars, and it's at 213 now. So it's earned 2 points per.
And if you want to level it quick, just sit there and as soon as you soul match it, then equip it and then use a bunch of whetstones. You'll see what the familiarity is because that familiarizes yourself with everything you're equipped with.
So not only do you have a significant amount of min maxing with your skill points, but you have it with your weapons.
Yes.
And gear. And
And
you can also
gear.
you also
All
want to
gear,
go through and you
pretty
can reforge. Let's say you've had a great weapon. Perfect skills all across the board except this one stupid thing. You can reforge that and get rid of that and try for something else. It is random. But you can be like, I don't like that one, try again. I don't like that one, try again. Oh, I like that one. I get extra Rita, or I get extra damage, or I get extra dodge, or that kind of thing. So,
Which I don't recall any of the Souls game having gear min maxing to this degree.
Definitely not to this degree.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that I really like is even though the weapon types are fairly similar, and they all look very similar because they're trying to fit within a certain type.
they do look a little different.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. And I'm sure later on, when we get farther, there'll probably be ones that look
Like the
even
katanas
cooler.
get even bigger. Mine's like a dual-handed one now with this giant handle on that.
That's right.
But each weapon has variable stats, similar to Diablo. So you could get one version of it that's super strong and one version of it that's super weak. In the Souls games, every single weapon is static. The only thing that changes it is the gems that you put into it, or the way that you upgrade and change it. But, for example, I've been using the Dark Sword in Dark Souls 3 pretty much since I got it. And I have not found anything that I like more.
So once you have that weapon,
That's
you
pretty
like
much what
and
I'm
you're
stuck
good with. It works, kills bosses.
Exactly.
So you don't need to change it.
Where this game is definitely similar in the way that the styles work the same. So a short sword will always function like a short sword does in Dark Souls. A katana will always function like a katana, but it may have different properties. It may be imbued with lightning. It may be imbued with fire. It may have, some other skill that you really want.
Like plus certain percentage damage.
Yeah,
for
like
this
plus backstab damage.
thing. More ammo.
Right, exactly.
I really want one paralysis. That'd be fun.
But
Yeah.
you can craft some pills for that, I think. Right?
You can. I can do it in my ninjutsu or my how do you pronounce the magic? Omnio.
Yeah.
Omnio.
But what I feel like that offers is weapon. You're looking at your weapon based on looks instead of trying to find the best weapon for you. Because once you've found the best weapon, from then on, you just kind of can make it look how you want.
Yeah.
And stylize your character how you. It's they always talk about Dark Souls dress up. This is like Dark Souls dress up to the nth degree. And I'm making a silly DC reference here.
Because you can
Nth metal is the best.
basically take any piece and make it look like any other piece. So,
Right.
let's say you like the look of this, but its stats suck. So you want to
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called refashion.
refashion.
Refashion. Then you can unlock
You
that
do,
after
you do get an
finish the
achievement
first
for doing that. It's called fashionista. So
Oh, that's cool. Like an achievement or a title?
An
An
achievement.
achievement.
That's pretty cool. Okay, trophy.
Trophy.
If
Sorry.
you're PlayStation.
Well, it's only
It's only on
PlayStation.
PlayStation. Yeah, so we're only getting started at Xbox. I actually told a few people who were excited about this. This PlayStation only, so they were a little disappointed because they really wanted to play it.
Well, if I remember correctly, the demo originally came out for Xbox and PlayStation 4.
It's on both.
Yes. I'm
That's
pretty
why people
sure
are
when
so
I went and
excited.
looked at the stats, it showed both of them.
Like the alpha.
Yeah, for the original alpha.
Yeah, that's before they added like a bunch of this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was for both. And then somewhere along the line, I don't know if because I noticed that Bandai Namco is still, or Koei Tecmo, sorry, is at the front of it. So they're still involved somehow. But from what I understand, PlayStation ended up getting kind of an exclusivity for it. I don't know if that's a delayed exclusivity or permanent, but I will say that when you go to Neo's website, it goes straight to PlayStation.com.
It's probably because
It's now a Sony exclusive.
It's Sony exclusive, Japanese-based game.
Well, the rumor I heard is that Koei Tecmo was done. They were like, no, we're not funding this anymore. We're not helping you. Like, get the game out or we're done. And PlayStation picked it up and was like, no, this is going to be great Bloodborne money, guys. Come on. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so far they're doing well.
They're doing really well. Yeah, this game, high praise all around. All the critics.
All around.
All the critics are giving it anywhere between an 8 and a 9.
Metacritic's 8.6, I believe, average.
For a review, 9.0 for user, which is pretty good.
And I'm going to say this, user reviews are your guys' opinion is way more important than any critic.
Yeah.
I have purchased so many games based off of user reviews over critic reviews. Because PlayStation.com, I told you.
Neo's website redirects you to PlayStation.
So many based off of user reviews. When I see a game, for example, one of my favorite references is God Hand for the PlayStation 2. That game, that's interesting. Game City.
Just Japanese-based website. Yeah, so it looks like they didn't want to build a website for the English version. Looks like they get some cooler stuff in here.
What's Game City? Is that a publisher?
No, Koei Tecmo's.
Oh, that
right
must
there.
be Koei Tecmo's
So
website,
Koei
maybe?
Tecmo's.
So maybe Sony just published it in America?
I think
No,
that's why they got
it's only.
exclusive.
I mean, it's only on PlayStation in Japan too. It's not
Strange.
It came out for anything else. Came out same day, 2/9/17.
Okay.
They get some cool exclusives.
Wait, what was I talking about? I totally got sidetracked.
Totally got
with
sidetracked.
the cool
too.
armor.
Yeah.
Fashion. PlayStation's.
I don't know.
Since
Oh
you're
my
broken,
God.
can
Yeah.
we take a break?
You need to
Yes,
I need to
let's
take a break.
take a
break.
break.
Let's take a break.
All right, we're back. All right, and we're back.
Yeah, you good?
Welcome back to Hold the Skip. That was our short break, thanks to needing to relieve ourselves. Let's get back to it.
I just jumped.
I completely lost focus on what we were talking about. And I was looking at the timestamp, and I'm pretty sure we should probably start weaning off of Neo. Obviously, we're all gushing about it. If you haven't bought it yet, and you're waiting for a sale, my opinion is don't.
So early recommendations from us.
Well, what's your opinion?
My opinion is play it if you like hard types of games.
Okay, so if
not because you like Dark Souls or Demon Souls or whatever. Play it because it's going to be challenging. It's an action RPG.
This is not a Dark Souls game.
It's not a Dark Souls game. Don't buy it because
this is a classic video game. It has missions. It has a story. Not saying Dark Souls doesn't have a story, but let's be honest, there isn't much in the way of cutscenes and fluid story.
The story is very basic, though. Yeah. It's a basic story. It's all in the gameplay. It's a very classic Japanese action RPG.
But would you say rent or buy?
If you're on the fence with rent, and if you like what you get from the rental, then I would buy it.
Okay.
So,
honestly, I'm an impulse buyer. I would say buy it. But also, if people should know is after you and your friend complete missions, you have to have the same missions unlocked. You can play co-op with each other and farm together. It's less boring that way. Or let's say you want to farm for certain pieces of gear, just farm the same bosses over and over again.
That is
together.
definitely one downfall. Co-op, you have to play missions that both of you have beaten. It is not like the co-op in Dark Souls where you can use the password to join each other. You have to play co-op in the way of that system where you go to the gates, you join each other, but it has to be a mission you both beat.
Yeah, now you can play as a guest or as a anytime if depending on what you're looking to do. If you play as a guest to somebody, it's just anybody's looking for help, you'll join their game.
Yes.
So,
but Diablo is similar. If you're trying to play with other people and they haven't gotten as far as you, then
you can.
Not like brand new person.
Not a brand new
person. Yeah. So if you're brand new and if I've beaten the game 3 million times and you have not beaten it before yet, I don't think you can join. You can join, but you can't create the room. I don't know. It's got a similar progression block.
You have to at least beat the first mission before you can even before you can even get to the map.
Yeah.
To summon people.
Which is why I really wanted to beat that first boss. I was like, I need to get...
You can summon people from a shrine into your game, but it's going to be a random person. Yeah. As far as I've seen, there's no way to bring a friend in unless you could just get really lucky.
Yeah. And we were going to try that at one point. Just summon me and I'll join at the same time and see if it drags me in.
But then we thought it might be a little too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
So that's Neo. Recommend from us. Hold to skip. Recommend.
I would say highly recommend it.
Don't skip. Okay.
Hold to skip. Highly recommend.
Don't skip.
Don't skip.
Play the game. Play the game. Okay. Wait, have you guys been playing anything else other than we talked about Resident Evil already?
Yeah, I played a little bit of Resident Evil in VR. I'm gonna try and go through the whole game in VR, but man, I'm really worried about motion sickness now. I'm gonna try it again tomorrow, and we'll see where I'm at. That
eat a light meal.
Play. We'll see where I'm at. I did put my Gunners on, which have an anti-reflective coating.
Gunner optics.
Yes, Gunner optics, and it helped quite a bit with the high contrast, as well as the anti-reflective coating kind of cut down on the glare. Or seemed to help. I mean, it's a digital glare, so it's kind of hard to know how much it helps, but it felt like I wasn't having as much eye strain.
I haven't tried that with my Gunners yet.
It fits really nicely. I'm surprised how comfortable PSVR is. Out of all the headsets that I've tried so far, which I have not got to try Oculus yet, but I've tried some of the Cardboard,
Vive.
Google Cardboard, Vive, the Samsung exclusive one by Oculus.
That's right,
and of course PlayStation VR. And PlayStation VR is by far the most comfortable. However, I have heard that Oculus is really comfortable as well.
Yeah, I haven't tried Oculus yet either. I've tried all those other ones. Definitely because I have to wear glasses for
I haven't tried it
years.
And just like tweeting, he doesn't VR.
He does.
I'm willing to try it eventually, but
He's lying.
I'm probably going to get sick.
We need to take him over to our friend's place who has all this stuff and just get him in there. Yeah.
Let him try.
Let's see. I've been playing Neo, playing a lot of Neo, and I've been playing Fire Emblem Heroes on the iOS. Did you guys get that?
I downloaded. I played about 10 minutes, and I don't know if the combat gets a little bit more complex. But I don't like that the killing blow is how you get experience, because in the way that I'm playing the levels, I seem to always get the same guy with the last hit. So I have one guy who's leveling up a lot, and my other team is not leveling up enough. So I do wish there was a shared XP mechanic, even if it was less experience. For the rest of them, I do wish there was some sort of experience.
Have you played much Fire Emblem other than?
I played Fire Emblem. I think was it on the Wii? Fire Emblem on the Wii. I played that one.
That's it. Okay, yeah. So all the Fire Emblems are like that.
Right, and well, most tactics games are.
Yeah.
But in this style of game where it's like drag and drop almost, because in other games you really have to concentrate on setting up your positions. It doesn't feel that way in Fire Emblem Heroes. It feels like you pretty much can just drag and drop.
Yeah,
and
I mean, you can move to positions. Like I find that if I played it more. Like I'm getting more strategic about who I want where, what range to attack. But yeah, it's a very simple mechanic compared to the console version.
Yeah, I haven't played much of it.
I haven't played a whole lot either, only because I'm reloading. I'm like reinstalling and deleting until I get the characters.
And you keep getting crappy characters from that.
I've gotten. So the 5 stars have like a 3% drop rate, and I've gotten the same 5-star like every other time, and that she's not who I want, even though I think she's probably a pretty good one. And there's one instance where I got 2 5-stars, but there weren't any of the ones that I wanted. So until I get the character that I'm searching for, I might not play it yet. But I've played the first missions multiple times. But it definitely is that gacha style of gameplay. If you can put money into it to get better at the game or to progress farther if you want to. But I hear that they might be considering a patch to make it a little bit more easier to progress and not so much behind the paywall, because all the other Nintendo games you buy and then you're done. You don't have to pay it for any more, like Mario or Miitomo.
What about Pokemon Duel? Have you played that?
Pokemon Duel, I have not played it enough to know. The only paywall I think is to get the characters that you want. But I don't hear about a lot of people playing it.
Okay, so this is random interjection, but Game Freak, the developers behind Pokemon, did you know that they are an independent developer?
Yes.
They're not a first-party developer.
Yes.
They're a second-party developer for Nintendo. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
My mind was blown the other day when I was searching through Steam and I saw Game Freak's logo pop up. And it was like a 2D side-scrolling action game, not published by Nintendo.
Yeah, they're their own independent stuff. Nintendo.
It's probably why I forgot what I was talking about during Neo. My mind has just been blown.
I think for Pokemon specifically that they have. I'm sure there's some kind of like legal contract terms and things of what Game Freak and Nintendo can do with the properties. But to my understanding, Game Freak owns them, and then Nintendo uses the assets in games and helps publish and finance games because they make a lot of money off of it. But Game Freak controls more of what happens with those assets than Nintendo does.
It's crazy.
So, which is pretty cool. Like, I think that's why we haven't been too saturated. Like, we get Pokemon games every other year, but they could just put it.
Well, there was a short time where they created a bunch of like offshoot games.
Pokemon Snap and things like that.
Not even that. I'm talking about like the Mystery Dungeon games and stuff like that.
But people love Mystery Dungeon.
I'm surprised they haven't made another one.
Maybe it's because they haven't. Has the games done too well in sales?
I don't know.
If they haven't been doing too well, they're probably like Nintendo probably doesn't want to put up the money to.
Anyway, sorry, random interjection. Just had to throw mind-blowing stuff out there.
We can talk about video game business analytics if you want. I love business. What else? What have you been playing?
Pretty much Neo.
Pretty much Neo.
You've been playing another survival sandbox builder, not Empyrean Survival.
It's
Galactic Survival.
Conan Exiles, the Dong Slider game.
Dong Slider.
Dong Slider. Hashtag Dong Slider. Hold the skip.
I've heard a lot. I haven't played it yet. I have it, but I have not played it because I've been so much in Neo. But the big hype around this game is the character creation and the fact that the male genitalia you can change. I think female too, female and
Well,
male.
it's not the female genitalia; it's the female chest. But
Yes,
it's
but
down.
but still,
Yeah.
I would like
you
to
know what
point
I mean.
out, though, you can also enhance the male's chest. And there are male chest jiggle physics if you make the man pecs big enough.
Really,
Yes.
so like some gynecomastia or
Not quite. If you look at a man with really well defined pecs and they're loose, they're not tight.
Yeah.
They will kind of have a jiggle to them.
they do.
So
You want touch? So mine are pretty hard when I flex them. So what is it a good game? You like
It is. It's the building. I like the building. It has a lot of options, but it seems like we're not even scratching the surface yet. There's dungeons. There's enemies we haven't
Dungeons.
found. There's entire areas. You can be a member of all the religions. I think I heard somebody talking about finding a person lets you join another religion. So,
but
yeah,
not
this
everything's been implemented yet. There's like 3 religions that haven't even been
Yeah.
added
Well,
yet.
well, how much of the Conan universe is in this game? Is Conan in this game?
he frees you from the cross.
Okay, so he's
Yeah.
I
okay.
mean, we might meet him later on.
It might be.
There are NPCs that you can interact with that
Yes.
aren't trying to kill you.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good.
And then the thrall system's interesting. I'm surprised it hasn't drawn more ire, but you basically go in there and beat people with clubs until they're unconscious, tie them with a rope and drag them back to your base and turn them into your slaves.
And you can have warriors, you can have dancers, you can have workers,
You can have priests.
you can have
That's really
priests. Now, there's probably a little controversy because, so on your server, you set the nudity level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it can be completely covered, semi-covered, or not covered at all.
But you have the choice of how covered you want.
But
Correct.
whoever makes the server,
Correct.
yeah.
But that's the server host.
Okay.
Now, on a private server, it really doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But on a public server, it might, especially a non-passworded
I
public
think most
server.
public servers are covered.
Well, I don't mean the Conan server specifically. I mean like a guy who purchases his own server and makes it public.
Oh, okay.
He could totally do like a full nudity server.
True.
I think that might cause some controversy, because I imagine people are going to take thralls and make them like dancers or something.
Like, do you
The
have,
thralls don't seem to be nude. I have not seen a nude thrall
you-
yet.
do you
They,
have
they
to be
can be, from what I understand.
I don't know how to change their gear.
do you have to be nude?
I
Like
think
on
you have
all
to
new
break their gear. Is what
server?
I've heard.
Or can
I
you
don't know
be-
how either. I'm just saying this is what I've heard. I've heard that their gear can break and they can be completely naked, and I feel like that might cause some controversy.
Yeah.
But what now?
Can you choose to not be nude if you're on an all-nude server? Is that
Well, yeah.
yes.
As soon as you get
Okay.
some
Your
armor, it covers
personal
you.
character
Can do whatever
can
you want.
choose to not have the nudity. in
You
the
can
game.
start making the first set of
Um,
clothes like immediately. You
yeah,
don't have
so-
to-
The host of the server is the one who chooses whether or not full nudity is accessible.
Mhm.
But you, as the individual,
basically it's like
decide
most games. You know,
whether
how you
or
have the
not-
underwear
Okay.
underneath.
you personally
the armor.
have the underwear.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you won't have an enemy that you fight that has a shirt on but no pants and his dong is just flapping in the wind.
as
His
they do?
dingus.
As they do.
His dingus is just like
And,
wee.
and you can go on, in YouTube and find videos of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I don't recommend posting nudity on YouTube. It could get you flagged and or banned.
yes, even
Just saying.
even in video games. But do you feel like that the hype around this game, even though it's centered around the nudity involved and the rawness of it, does it overshadow the actual?
Like I said, I barely scratched the surface on it. I built a little bit and I farmed a little bit, and we haven't gone into there's caves, there's dungeons, there's.
I would like
things
to
I
say
haven't seen.
real
there
quick
is a dragon
That
somewhere.
he says he hasn't scratched the surface, and yet he's probably put close to 30 hours into
30
it.
hours
Yeah.
in this game.
Well, I built.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I built
These are your types of games. I don't
built
really play
I
these
built a
games,
Mesa top castle.
but you really enjoy making these games. So your focus is all about building.
Yeah, well, I kind
The
of
buildings look phenomenal, though.
Yeah.
I really like the way they look.
Is there like a lot of story progression in this game? Because you're just building. Like, can you just?
It looks like a game that's going to have story,
But it's
but
not
right
beta.
now it's not quite in
Is it still in beta?
It is early access.
Early access,
Correct.
so alpha, beta-ish.
Yes.
Okay.
I will also say that I feel like this game needed the nudity hype.
Yeah.
I think it kind of would have been passed over.
Or under the
otherwise.
radar, yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay. So,
Um,
but the,
I
It
just
is amazing.
found it
But it
funny
has
because
good-
people have made songs.
it
with
has
Dom
good
Slide.
gameplay aspects, even though the hype was centered around the aspects.
Yeah.
Okay. That's. I think
No,
that's. I think
the
that's
game
more.
is-
I think that's really important.
It's got for being early access, it's got a variety of great enemies and things to interact with.
And that's just on the outskirts of the map. We haven't gotten to the werewolves and the skeletons and the spiders and everything. Well, big spiders.
It feels a little bit more complete than because it runs more. The frame rate and everything is more stable,
Mhm.
but I feel like it is a more complete version of original Ark, Survival Evolved.
That's a good.
Because Art keeps adding new stuff, but they don't fix the old bugs.
Right.
So right now, calling out Ark, they're buggy. They need to fix some stuff.
Server lag.
Ark,
and the-
stop adding stuff and start working on your core product, and don't charge us for an expansion until you have a good, working, functioning game.
So hold to skip. Don't buy Ark until they fix it.
No, I can't say that.
I can't
It's
say that.
still
I do
really
realize.
fun.
So-
I did play a lot of Ark, so
It
we'll
is
buy
good-
buggy games.
It is good enough
You
but
don't like
that
that.
even
Do not
with
like.
the bugs, to be fun to
Because I
play.
played
Yeah.
7 days. 7 days to die, is that what it's called?
7 days.
So until we played it, and then until we hooked up the PS4 to the internet, we hadn't patched it, and then it patched, and it was much better.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So I found it unplayable. And
But I mean, that's any early access game though.
I know, but like
we bought 7 Days back in 2014, 13
something
when
like
it first came out, and it was okay,
yeah,
and it's way better. Now.
Look okay. So the graphics originally it looked like Minecraft. Everything was squared.
Mhm.
really
Everything was So
Slightly better because it wasn't
Slightly
like
better.
the 8-bits, textures and stuff.
yeah.
okay. So it
But
had,
it was blocky.
So it's
and
changed.
whatnot.
But and
good. It's
then
changed
there
a
was a
lot.
big update where it kind of sloped everything, and then after that, now it's all like gradiated and polygonal and so on.
Right.
So
So just be wary of early access games.
Yeah.
Correct.
Be wary-
Always be wary.
Always be wary. Of
all early access.
Just watch YouTube.
Watch
videos,
Let's Plays.
Watch
They
Let's Plays.
change.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So Conan, watch some videos. Give it a try if you like it.
Yeah, and it's
And
not
it's a
too
good game.
expensive.
It's a good
So
game.
it's like say you have $20 to throw around.
That's
you
it?
could- Yeah.
That's only $20. Okay, $20 is for 30 hours of entertainment that you.
Was it
got.
20 or 30? I thought it was $29.99.
I got it on sale.
Okay, so it'll probably go on sale again.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So Steam, Conan Exiles, check it out.
Yeah.
You play
Check it
other
out.
games?
Watch some Let's Plays.
That's it.
Pretty much that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, pretty much that for me.
I tried the Fire Emblem Heroes. I really can't get into it. I do have one beast group, and then
yeah,
that's it.
yeah. It's
So-
Fire Emblem Heroes just didn't make as big a splash, I think.
I've also been playing Conan Exiles,
You like
mostly with Anthony. I definitely like it.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'll
yeah.
let you guys.
It
know
is
about
more
it this week.
than Dingus.
Yeah.
Which is good because
And I think if I get more people playing, more of my friends playing, I would definitely rent a server because that way I don't have to be online, so you guys can play too.
One major negative
Oh,
in the personal
tether.
multiplayer, your character is tethered to the host.
Now,
So you can only get so far away before you kind of start getting rubber banded back.
now there
towards
is a good
the
reason for
host.
that. Because to keep the frame rate stable, they basically give you small instances. It only loads what's around the main host.
The main character.
So if your other person wanders too far, there's nothing past it. That's why it pulls them back. Well, there's something past it. You can see it, but it doesn't load in.
so
like everything.
something that'll be fixed later on. I'm
No.
not sure. No.
This is
might
one of the game things. If I buy a server, you can go wherever you want. But if I'm host and you're connecting to my character directly, like it's just my game or we're playing multiplayer, like that, it's always going to load exactly what's around me.
But
So-
like out of early access, this might be something. that
It
changes.
might be something that
It might,
changes,
but I don't think so.
It just depends on how complex changing that rendering system is.
They did it
Okay.
to save a lot of CPU power
Yeah.
because my computer would have to render everything for both of our characters.
But, but like for those of us who have like a 1080, you can just render
I'll tell
whatever.
you these lame.
It's not like AMD. AMD is underpowered in my opinion, but
Really? I have an overclocked AMD. I have no problem.
yeah.
I as far as
I have a
GPUs are
12 gig
concerned,
GPU.
I would say that NVIDIA and AMD are fairly matched. When it comes to processors, on the other hand, Intel.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AMD processors I prefer AMD just because I like the underdog,
Cheaper too.
but yeah, it's way
Much
cheaper.
Cheaper.
But as far as performance goes,
I've
the
had-
same
yeah.
clock speeds, the same cores, everything. The Intel will always be more efficient.
And in
So far.
terms of the video game universe, anytime you see a minimum specs or recommendation, it's always NVIDIA, Intel, and /AMD for graphics, because they realize that some people have AMD, but like
Anthony is a night watchman for a hotel.
Sorry about that.
So sometimes he gets random texts and or calls because he's working right now.
Okay, I'm back.
yeah, we're in
Hashtag he needs a raise
or just support from our viewers
or support.
or support. Okay. So
Send him little hearts
so
Little hearts.
in the comments because he doesn't tweet.
So comments YouTube a lot. Speaking of which,
just tweet Phil a lot. Just spam him.
Or spam me and I will relay the message.
you relayed. Well, you did relay. You relayed a message before we started recording. We got an email asking us
Yes.
for more about us because we are new, so people
Yeah,
want to know more where we came from.
We
So-
got an email from Zakuru Greenu. That was the email I had. I don't know if his name is like Zach Green or
Lame.
whatever. Yeah, it's kind of silly. You're
I'm sure
You're cool though, bro.
Fine, dude. It's
You're
fine.
cool, bro.
It's fine. Okay.
Thanks for the email. He wanted to know what game or games basically got us into gaming.
Mhm.
Like, what was it that made us gamers? Anthony, do you want to
Yeah,
start?
with
you,
me?
you started with games before we did.
So I think when I got the original Nintendo Super Mario Duck Hunt, that combo, I played that a lot, and then pretty much whatever Nintendo games I got from then on, Zelda definitely.
So
but
I
then
gotta ask, which one did you play more, Super Mario or Duck Hunt?
Mario.
No.
Mario. Okay.
I did play a lot of Duck Hunt, but I can only play that for so long.
So the less replay value.
Did you hear that the Super Mario Bros. Record was beaten just recently?
Mhm.
Guy beat it in just under 5 minutes. It was like 4 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yeah.
Like
It's like a whole half a second faster than the world record.
like the whole game.
The whole
Okay.
game.
Obviously, using Warp Troops.
Yeah. No, you can't beat a game that fast without warp tubes. It's impossible.
Oh,
But once Mario 3 came out, I played that a whole lot. Like, that game was amazing. Zelda, again, I played that a lot.
By the way,
original Zelda.
Resident Evil 7 receiving very mixed reviews. Critically, it's been received really well. But when it comes to user reviews, it's actually not doing. It's like 7 something. And even though it's been kind of getting mixed reception, it is like the #1 speedrunning game on like Twitch right now.
Really?
Yeah, people are going in Madhouse mode, naked with a knife, and beating it in like 2.5 hours.
Wow.
Insane speedruns. Now, for those people complaining about length of Resident Evil, I would like to say the original Resident Evils could be beaten in under an hour to an hour and a half ish.
Yeah, I had someone complain about that earlier today when they were talking to me about the game.
Yeah.
They weren't happy that you could beat it in 10 hours. They felt
just
that
work,
they
you're
felt
fine.
they felt it was too short. They wanted more, and I was like, it's long enough. Like by the time you get tired of kind of playing it,
I am someone who likes a complete experience
Yeah.
unless I'm not looking for that. Like Dark Souls and even Neo is great because I can pick up, I can play a mission, I can put it down.
Yeah.
And then I can go back to it. But games that are, especially games that are heavily story oriented, I like them to be right in that 8 to 12 hour range because it means that because I have a job, because I have a family, and I have to. My job isn't video games,
and there's
it gives me enough time to feel like I can dedicate enough to play it and feel satisfaction in beating.
and
the
there's
story.
more games always coming out. Like every
Oh, yeah.
week, there's always a new one that we
Right.
need to get to review for
Absolutely.
the podcast. And it's-
Also, if any of our viewers have suggestions on Let's Play things, like things to stream video and audio at the same time,
Yeah,
so
we're
we can
getting-
start doing Let's Plays on
we're
this
working
channel
on it.
also.
And I think for
So-
like Neo specifically, that would have been a really good one to stream. So that might be
Yeah.
our
So the way our Let's Plays are probably going to work is what we want to do is we want to be in either a party chat on like Discord or PlayStation Network and get all of our audio while someone is playing the game.
Mhm.
Whether we're playing something different and just responding to him, something a little more interactive than a lot of the Let's Plays you see.
Yeah, and we want to play with other people. We want to play with
Mhm.
our viewers and our listeners. So,
Absolutely.
like,
I don't know if I should be the one playing Neo, or any other
Well,
games like
that's
that
we're-
because
we're-
then I will
we
just
have-
be cussing.
we
into
have
the
explicit
microphone.
I have an explicit tag
Yeah,
for our
explicit tag on
podcast.
the podcast.
Yes.
People who are old enough to buy a Neo or old enough to hear swears.
Yes, you
And-
cut arms and limbs off in this.
Yeah,
game.
it's a very.
I mean-
it's an M-rated game, which I thought was cool when I
That's-
first saw it happen. When
that's
you
PG.
when you
It's fine.
when you saw it.
and you get covered in blood.
Yeah.
It
Well,
reminds me of Dragon
Demons.
Georgia.
It's a scary game.
Yeah.
Scary.
No,
game.
that's not scary.
So, but that was your first game growing
Well,
up.
no, there was also before that we had a really, really old computer. Didn't have a hard drive. I can't remember what brand it was. Can't remember anything else like that. It had the large floppy drive, no hard drive,
Mhm.
and there was like the pixel or the text-based games, and the one of them was Leisure Suit Larry. I probably shouldn't have been playing it when I was a kid. And then the original Leisure Suit Larry, and there was Oregon Trail and things like that. And then there, after Nintendo, I played Sega, Sonic, Phantasy Star. Those were great games. Pretty much went from there. Then I got the PlayStation, and I really went nuts. And then I got a better computer, and then it went just kind of stacking from there on. So
your original PC Master Race.
yeah, before there was even hard
OG
drives.
PC Master Race.
What
That's
about
funny.
you, mate?
So I played a lot of, let's see, first games would have been Joust
on the
Ooh.
Atari.
on the Atari.
Atari Joust.
Loved Joust.
Never
Fun game. Probably one I have the most memories of from like super far back, 1990-ish. So I was around 4 years old.
Mhm.
Super Mario, definitely. The one that imprinted on me the most probably was Super Mario Brothers 3. And then this
That was
other, this other Nintendo game where you played as Captain America, Hawkeye. It was, God, what was it called? Well, anyway, it was a Nintendo game. You played as Captain America or Hawkeye, and you fought like Crossbones and a bunch of other great Marvel villains. And you could call in, other characters. But it was your standard kind of platformer, like Contra, of that kind of era.
Mhm.
But I love that game, and those games really drew me in. I actually learned to read playing Final Fantasy.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Final Fantasy
Like
too.
one?
All of them.
Yeah, like old
And the
school
original
NES
Dragon
Final
Quest.
Fantasy,
Dragon Warrior.
Dragon
Warrior.
Warrior. And those games were what made me want to learn to read. I mean, 5, 6 years old. That's what drove me to want to read and learn more about the English language.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Even though some of it was translated pretty badly.
yeah, but poorly translated English.
Well, you're gonna poorly translate it anyways because you're bi and you can't read.
Right. So that was really what drove me to learn, and read and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, Altered Beasts, another great game that I played. Not the best game in the world, mind you. The game is pretty
we were
trash. but
actually
it's so
we were
great.
actually talking about that game at work today because
Nice.
a couple other people,
Rise
Rise
from
from your grave.
couple people that you grew up with,
Power
that
up,
I work with,
Power
were also
up,
talking about
power up.
because he apparently had one when he was a kid.
Okay.
It was in his
Ghouls
it was in
and
his
Ghosts.
basement.
Or Super Ghouls and Ghosts. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, Super Nintendo. I
Yeah.
remember that game. Mine was it's no surprise name was Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2.
Street
Ooh,
Fighter 2.
Street Fighter on the Sega. Like Street Fighter 2
Mortal Kombat on the Sega.
Sega. Mortal
original, with
Kombat on
Blood
the Sega.
Code.
Those two games were my peanut butter and jelly.
Because we come from fighting game background.
Absolutely.
That's where.
I used to play them a lot.
Yeah, so I mean that's what started me into video games. Kept me in video games. Street Fighter 2 is still my favorite game. Next to Castlevania. I play Street Fighter on the regular, daily, every day. Still, Street Fighter 5, not as fun as Street Fighter 4. I still play because that's what's in the scene right now. Like, I like Street Fighter 5. I like a lot of the changes that they did with it, but I feel like Street Fighter 4 was like
Polished.
it was
better.
polished better. I mean, it has been out for a lot longer. That's true. I just a lot of the micro.
The development cycle of Street Fighter V is very troubled.
Yeah.
When I first saw the game,
Oh my god, we're
I
so
was
hyped.
thinking, I was thinking, are they going to fix all this clipping by the time it comes out?
No.
How are they going to do that? They're saying it's coming out so soon.
Yeah.
How are they going to
They-
fix all these
They
issues?
had to push it.
And I've said for a long time that I think Street Fighter V should have launched with a multiplayer section in the beginning.
Mhm.
$30 for the multiplayer portion. You can play training mode.
Mhm.
You can play, same console versus, and you can play online. Like those modes, those core modes.
Mhm.
And then once they got the single player content together, you release a full package for $60 or another $30 expansion, and then the season pass on top of it.
Do you think that people would have paid another $30 for the story modes and the main big story mode and no arcade mode still?
I think
Is that worth $30?
no.
So
But I think had they thought about it further,
Mhm.
instead of trying to rush out this product,
for E3, it was rushed for E3. That's the
Um,
reason why they put it out. Not E3, Evo. Sorry.
Evo, yeah,
By the way, E3 is
Um,
public this year.
that's true.
Yeah, E3.
I'm pretty excited about that.
I just
I heard
got the
it's-
word E in it.
It's only like
so it was-
4,000 people or something, 4 or 5,000
No, it's like
people.
15,000.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, it's not. Was it that high?
It was.
thought
I
really
I,
low.
I read
Yeah, I
it.
thought it was 4 or 5,000
That's it.
people.
I
Yeah.
read it was super. I thought it was super high. Maybe they changed it.
They
Um,
might change next year, but this year it's only going to be like under.
I think they want to
5,000.
temper it because it's already
To open up
super
the gates.
crowded.
Yeah.
So add a bunch of randos in the mix. That's going to be like balls to balls. You know what I mean?
They keep adding the.
It's going to be like the first boss in Neo.
when they keep
Balls to balls.
They keep adding the ticket amounts. They keep increasing the amount of ticket sales for BlizzCon, and every year
Mhm.
it feels like there's too many people every year.
Well,
Like,
that's what happened.
too many lines, too
I
many
have some
wait
friends
lists.
live in Indiana that go to Gen Con every year, which is a board game and book type convention.
Yeah, if you're a Warhammer 40K fan or like a War Machine fan,
Yeah.
you'd probably jizz all over the room.
In Gen
It's
Con.
supposed to
everywhere.
hashtag.
But at Gen Con, they apparently it gets bigger and bigger every year, and they're selling so many tickets that people can't get rooms in the city anymore. They can't. People are sleeping in the hallways, and they're allowed to do that because there's no place for them to sleep. So that kind of they're getting
Yeah.
a little crowded.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
It's always a big thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Too not enough limitations, but you want everyone to go, and they
Yeah.
can't. Like,
And
But-
the problem with if you have limitations, then you have the scalpers. People are going to buy like 50 tickets and then try to sell them for triple the price.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I've enjoyed not having to deal with that
Yeah.
with BlizzCon for Kids Media.
At this
Yeah.
point, if the season pass was included and it didn't have arcade mode, I think I would have been happy with that.
Ooh, okay, yeah, story
um,
mode with season pass for $30-$40.
Yeah.
and after I'll be paying $30.
But I also think if they would have had the ability to concentrate on the single player content, they would have thought of things beyond survival mode.
which nobody plays.
Well, and it was implemented poorly.
It was implemented poorly. Nobody plays
So-
it, and then I guess they thought that nobody wanted single player. All they do is play online, and then a lot of people play offline.
When-
Infiltration says he only plays in training mode, and he plays arcade mode. He doesn't like to play online.
When you're stacked against a game like Mortal Kombat X and
Which-
Injustice,
Amazing arcade mode and story mode.
arcade mode, story mode, survival mode, tower mode, like
Oh,
so
yeah,
many
tower mode.
modes,
And then
like modes
and then-
everywhere.
and they're long. Like story for Mortal Kombat X was like hours.
4 hours.
4
something like
hours. The one for Street Fighter 5, you can beat it really quickly, if you're good enough.
This is bothering me. Keep talking.
You and I, Anthony, you and I played Mortal Kombat, the kind of reboot.
Yeah.
XL?
No, just Mortal Kombat.
Oh, the original.
2009. We played through the story mode in the. Not only did that have regular story mode, but it had. You could play the 2v2, stuff through like arcade mode and whatnot. So many modes, so many things. I mean, kind of the release of Street Fighter V and what's happened. What do you think about Mortal Kombat? When we played through that, I mean, you're being someone who hasn't really been involved in the fighting game genre. That was fun, right?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. As long as I have friends to play with, I would never play fighting games by myself anymore.
Right.
I mean, when I started playing on the Sega with Mortal Kombat, I did play by myself, just doing the story modes and harder difficulties. But now, if I'm not fighting with somebody in the room, even I don't like doing it online. I don't play them. So
hard. Just for some people, it's really hard to spend like hours just in training mode. But
Yeah,
then growing up, that's all you played
when
arcade mode. And you played training mode because you didn't have that, and then
Right.
they took it away. And you're
And
like,
when that's all you get
"Where's my
in
arcade
Street
mode?"
Fighter V, you're kind of just like,
I turn it on and I go and like warm up in training mode and wait for a match and I play a couple matches, but nah, like I get bored of that after a while.
I recently upgraded my computer because I own Street Fighter V on PC, and I did not download the story mode again. I have no urge to play it.
I don't have any urge. I want to play arcade. I played arcade mode all the time
in Street Fighter.
Street Fighter 4. Played all the time. I mean, I like doing that more than playing online. I mean, I've played online, but I already play arcade mode while waiting for an online match because I think it's more interactive than just sitting in training mode.
So besides Street Fighter,
Street Fighter 2, first game I ever played. Only genre. I mean, fighting game is my favorite genre of video games all the time. Love Tekken. Play Tekken, all the Tekkens. I don't like Mortal Kombat at all. I don't like. I like Skullgirls. Okay, I don't really like Injustice. So, but I love fighting games. I just don't like American made ones. And probably like second closest would be Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Played that a billion times. It's one of those games that you can always just go back to, and no matter how old it gets, it's just always good.
yeah, that game, it doesn't age.
It doesn't.
When you talk about games aging well, or not aging well, that is a game that truly ages very well.
Yeah. Any Nintendo platform, any PlayStation platform.
I think that and the Resident Evil remake are two games that just have aged. Even I went back and played the new HD Resident Evil.
Yeah.
The remake that they released for PS4.
I like
Obviously the same one that came out for GameCube, but they re-released it.
the voice acting.
Voice
acting for that game.
So good.
It's so good.
I mean, Nolan North status.
Hashtag so good. My God, the opening cutscene for that game.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my God.
But remake is one of those things that absolutely, stands up to the test of time, just like Castlevania does.
Castlevania is something that
Absolutely
stands up. Final Fantasy, I guess, because I started gaming in the.
What was your first?
What
popped that Final Fantasy cherry?
7 was the first, and then 8, and then 9. So I didn't. I started gaming a little bit later. Street Fighter 2 was probably what I played. I'm a little bit younger, so I played Street Fighter 2 when I was like 3, 4-ish, and then didn't really get to play any more games, but I had an older cousin who had all the games, and I didn't have any at home. I would go to his place, and this is after they had already come out. So he had Dreamcast and he had PlayStation 1, and he really loved Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Breath of Fire. So he'd just show me
Breath of Fire.
Breath of Fire. I love Breath. Secret of Mana on Super Nintendo. It's one of my all-time favorite RPGs as well. But he liked showing me the summons because I was younger, but I got a really big kick out of the summons. So he showed me the summons.
So big and flashy.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs, dragons, and people on horseback and spears.
Yeah, it was really cool, especially like for 8 when summons became a major part of that game.
Okay, so next episode, what do you guys think about top 10 games?
All time, or
top 10 games of all time? Do you think we can do that by next episode?
Yeah, because we missed
because there's so many
2016 Game of the Years.
Yeah, so let's do top 10 games of all time.
Okay.
It's going to be hard.
Well, no, I've got them of my personal ones. We'll do our personal list.
Well, yes, yeah, no. I'm not saying this is just completely opinion. Our 3 lists.
Our 3 lists, and then we'll take those lists and create a top 10 list from those, and those will be the official hold to skip.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Time, and as the years go on, we'll get better and better games and games that we really love. But for nostalgia purposes, top 10 games of HTS.
See if we can figure that out.
This is going to be so hard.
That'll be fun. It'll be fun.
I know. I got mine. I got like 5 out right now.
I'm not gonna say don't. Let's just
okay.
Keep them quiet for now.
All right. I said like 4.
But what about?
We know that, but that's okay. It's
What
okay.
if you have games that you played that you love that nobody's ever heard of before?
It doesn't matter. It's your personal top 10. It's HTS top 10. HTS top 10. It's our one.
Because there was this one game on Nintendo, original Nintendo. It was an import, and it was like a third-person flying game, and it was amazing. It was called MiG-29 Soviet Fighter. It came in a silver cartridge, but I put so many hours into that it's ridiculous.
Wait, what is that helicopter game for PlayStation? It's got like the nuclear symbol on it.
Desert Strike or Jungle Strike.
Yes. Yes. Talk about games that probably no one's heard of.
American Army, no one's heard of that game.
Ouch. That hurts my soul.
So yeah, someone competed competitively with that game.
Yeah.
So I mean, just like Tekken 2, no one's heard of that game either. Okay, so I think that's pretty much does it for this episode, right? You have anything else?
I think so.
That's pretty much it.
I think that's literally
What's
this
so?
episode.
So what is the email that people can write us to?
All right. So you can get a hold of us at holdtoskip@gmail.com. That's holdtoskip@gmail.com. You can get a hold of me at Phil J. Woodward. You can get a hold of Jake at HTS Jake.
Mhm.
And he
You
doesn't
can't get a
tweet.
hold of me.
Yeah, he doesn't. Well, you can just email.
Just tweet me or email Hold Skip or leave a comment in the comment section. Or if you rate us on iTunes,
We are on Facebook.
we got our Stitcher approval, so we are officially
We're
on
on Stitcher.
Stitcher.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for the approval on TuneIn.
Okay, but we're on iTunes. That's where
iTunes,
like our home base is.
Stitcher, SoundCloud, and YouTube.
Okay, and then the Facebook group. That's where we post a lot of the content.
And whatever we
Yes.
find interesting.
Whatever you find interesting. We're still fine tuning
Yeah.
how we're posting, but
yeah.
reviews, any kind of editorials that we do, any kind of
We don't make money for this. This is just something we do for fun. We have a certain opinion about things from a perspective that not a lot of the industry gets. We are people who have to purchase our games. We are people who don't have any industry connections.
Some.
Well, yes, but I just mean like I can't just
We don't have
throw a
connections
text
we can
message
use.
to Nolan North.
Oh, yeah.
And he won't just come over to our podcast and be like, "What's up, guys?"
Yeah. I mean, we were in it for a little bit, and we got out. So we're trying to do it independently.
Yeah, I mean,
We worked for big companies.
like most people, I know some people over at the Riot Crew, and you know some Blizzard guys,
I know
but
some
you know,
I know some Blizzard people.
I think 90% of the population does that. Either had beers and or what?
Blizzard crew.
What?
What?
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
One of them doesn't work for that company anymore. So, goes that.
So yeah, leave us a rating on iTunes, SoundCloud, like us on Facebook, give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and subscribe. Make sure to turn on the bell so you get our notifications of when we post new content. Hopefully starting soon, we'll be getting some more content up there besides just the podcast. But for now, this is our main concentration.
We just enjoy sitting around talking to each other.
We're working on, we're working on Twitch, aren't we?
Yeah,
We're
well, right now our main concentration is YouTube.
Okay.
We want to start doing Let's Plays on YouTube. And depending on how things go, I might want to do YouTube live over instead of Twitch.
Really?
Just to be different.
And if we get some cons, we can film from there too.
But yeah, if you guys have...
we've got some conventions and stuff that we're
You can post what you filmed at this con that one time. You filmed a little bit.
I film a lot when I go to different cons, but mostly it's because I was working for a company that wanted information while I was there. So.
But if you guys have any suggestions whatsoever about what we should be doing, anything we should change, one of the major criticisms that we got was Jake in the middle. Everyone wants him sandwiched between us. And then the other one was the audio, which unfortunately we had a major issue with the audio last episode. But I think it turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
For the most part. And, so we are listening, even with our extremely low, viewership. That's, we're still getting feedback, and that's super helpful. And even though you think that your help, may not go very far, please
when you're
speak
one
out
of
and let us
30.
know. Yeah. It goes a long way.
Mhm.
So thank you guys for all the support, even with our first episode. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be bringing more content soon.
As often as we can.
Thank you for watching. This has been the second episode of Hold to Skip.
Podcast episode.
New version.
Well, this
Yeah,
this is the episode.
This is it.
And it is February 13th, 2017.
Tomorrow's Valentine's
Yeah,
Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. To those of you who don't have a significant other and hold your middle finger high to Valentine's Day,
Tweet us.
do
Tweet
that
us, let
with
us
the
know.
fury and passion of awesomeness that you have, and tweet at us about it.
It's a
Show
Hallmark
us-
holiday
Hallmark holiday for sure.
Sit there, eat candy, play Neo.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't need other people.
Buy yourself Neo as a Valentine's Day gift.
Yeah.
Love yourself
Yep.
if you don't have anyone else in your life.
Chop some limbs off. It's good.
Chop some limbs off.
In the game, not literally.
Well, yeah, not
No.
real limbs,
No.
digital limbs.
Digital limbs.
Yeah, we don't want to support murder.
No.
And
Dude.
as far as loving yourself, love yourself physically, love yourself digitally, love yourself financially. I don't care. Whatever you have to do, just love yourself.
We need more of that.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're out, guys.
We'll just skip out.
Bye.